Back from non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, Liam Hendriks of the Chicago White Sox is with us now. He's been on a bunch of shows talking about his comeback. Truly inspiring. Liam, it's great to see you.
Great seeing you too, Ron.
Yeah, there's so much to get into. First of all, do you watch Top 10 right now?
I watch everything.
Yeah? And you thought you were a little low this year, right?
I did.
Yeah.
I did. I thought I had, was a top 3 in the MLB, the American League Reliever of the Year, and didn't make the MLB top 2 team, or the All MLB team, unfortunately.
Wow. Well, I had you 7th last year after dropping down. By the way, you were already battling cancer at that point. You didn't know it, right?
Yeah.
And then you were 2nd. And then not many guys are number 1 in anything, in any position. You are the number 1 relief pitcher, objectively, without bias anywhere else. The Shredder had you, our formula, had you number 1. So you felt on top of the world. That's when you signed your big contract. You had to feel on top of the world at that point.
Yeah, it was great. I was just very lucky. I mean, I had my breakout year in 19 and only had to back it up for 60.
Right.
it was a perfect timing.
So now get to last year. So you found lumps on your neck, and your wife saw lumps on your neck while you were pitching last June. So you were pitching. The cancer was getting after your body while you were pitching last year.
Yeah, so I had some swollen lymph nodes, one on the back of the neck here in June, and then one under here, which is like there's a scar under there now from the biopsy, and a couple on the side here. And yeah, once we got all the scans and stuff done in November, we turned out that the ones in my hips are actually bigger, so they figured that's been growing there a little longer.
So did you feel weakened down the stretch last year?
I felt like I wasn't recovering as well. Everything hurt a lot more. Like you could see my last few outings, I felt like I was limping around the mound a little bit. But the coaches all knew, and I told them, you're not allowed to come out. Don't bother me on the mound. Like I'm gonna be looking like I'm in pain, and I'm gonna be in pain, but I'm gonna get through this.
So now, how are you feeling?
Yeah, I mean everything's good. I think the chemo actually helped my elbow.
Really? So what is now when you say chemo, you start thinking, oh my God, what are the treatments like? What are the treatments like?
Yeah, so I was very naive to the fact. I thought there was one type of chemo for everything. It was different, but no, I was on an immunotherapy/chemo program, and I was on one of the milder chemo, so I got lucky in that regard. But yeah, it's crazy. Like the life expectancy's increased like 30% over the last 30 years. Like all the money that's going into cancer research, I thought was just going nowhere, but no, it's incredible. The amount of studies they're doing, the amount of testing they're doing, the amount of like advancements they've had in the area has been unbelievable.
What's the worst of it?
The worst was just not the constant nausea for me. It was just I had constant nausea for the treatment week, and it was and if I got hungry at all, like when you're hungry and you just I can push it off. It's an hour till dinner. I'll be fine. I couldn't wait till dinner. I had to eat then, or else I'd be sick and lethargic, and it would go just downhill.
How many rounds were you doing?
So I did 4 rounds, and each round consisted of immunotherapy and chemo on Monday, and chemotherapy on the Tuesday, and then so there's 4 rounds every 28 days. Back-to-back days every 28 days.
So again, you make a science of pitching, right?
Yeah.
So when you started to come back, what were your concerns, or did it just feel natural, or did you say, let me just get back into my body? What was it like coming back?
So initially, I just planned on playing catch throughout treatment because I'm like, I don't want to do too much. I don't want to do special. And then I got a text from Jameson Taillon, and that was, don't let anybody tell you how you can, like, what you can or can't do. Don't let anybody tell you baseball-wise. Don't let anybody go that way. And so that was on January 30th, I got that text. And I think 2 days later, I was throwing a bullpen. Because I'm like, you know what, I'm gonna throw a bullpen, I wanna see how I feel. And then I had the next round, I felt good after that. So I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna start throwing bullpens. I'm gonna get to a point where as soon as I'm cleared, I'm ready to go.
So that's why you were so quick, actually, back to the mound. You were kind of gearing back up.
Throwing bullpens, I had my last round on April 3rd and 4th. And then I had a bone marrow biopsy on the 18th. And I think I had a live BP on the 21st or the 22nd, and was into a game on the 28th, and then a game on the 1st in Arizona.
Right, so we haven't seen it ringing the bell here. What's your prognosis? What are they telling you? What's next? What's left?
Take it day by day. Like obviously we get regular scans now, so every 6 months I get another PET scan just to make sure how all the lymph nodes are doing. And then it's constant just blood work and all that sort of stuff just to make sure nothing pops up awry.
But you have to stay aware.
Yeah,
you have to be. You're not out of the. You're out of the woods. You got to be aware of what could come back.
Yeah, I'm in remission, and as of now, there's always the chance it comes back. And unfortunately, once you have cancer, the chances of getting it again are a little bit higher. So it's just constantly checking up on yourself, making sure that you're not tired, fatigued. I'm in constant paranoia about checking all my mechs and stuff like that for lymph nodes, which is relatively normal.
Right.
But yeah, it's just staying vigilant on making sure that you're feeling all right.
So, you're used to battling. You're a guy, I didn't even realize as I look back, because I knew you had a few years where you struggled before you broke out with the A's. You had 8 years.
It was a lot of struggle. Struggle's putting it nice.
Yeah, you're right. You had 8 years of a 4.7 ERA. So, in a nutshell, how did you turn it around to become an elite guy?
Yeah, I mean, you look at it from the first 3 years I was in Minnesota, like it was like the 4, I would have been great with a 4. And then I went to 2015, I moved to the bullpen, and that year was kind of, I had a 2.9 that year, and then went back and was in my own head, to be honest, thinking I deserved a bigger role than I had, and that's my own fault, that's my own insecurities at the time. And once I took a step back and got DFA'd for the 5th time in 2018, I changed my mindset through a lot of different people, including my wife and Ruby, our tarot card reader. But it was, why you this way? Why do you go this route? Why do you start thinking that way? And it really hit home and was like, well, that's right. Why don't I just go there? And that's one thing I've always preached. I have to earn absolutely everything now. I don't take anything for granted. I don't think I deserve anything. I earn everything I get.
So you do a lot of mental self-examination, right, of yourself, where you go.
Yeah.
Sounds like so you have a strong ego, right? And it can go down that path, and you have to guard yourself to go down other paths. Is that accurate?
I have a huge ego on the mound. Like when I'm pitching, I don't care anybody. The batter's a mannequin to me. It doesn't matter who's in the box. They're not better than me. I'm always better than them.
Right. Well, you got closers too.
Yeah.
Where that swagger help, immense confidence, because you're going to fail.
Without a doubt.
You got to bounce back from that.
Without a doubt. But off the field, I've changed my mindset in the fact of off the field or when I'm in the bullpen or not pitching that day or not coming into the game yet. It's very much like, look, I want to be egoless. I don't care what inning I'm throwing. I just want the phone to ring and I want to play.
Right. Well, good attitude. It just springs to mind. If you only knew, like we do the top 10, we joke about it, but I do the top 10 every single year. There's nothing compared to relief pitching. It's so much more volatile than everything else. So it's like the only corollary is like a field goal kicker. The difference between success and failure is so stark, and yet everybody has to deal with failure. So it is more of a mental game than anything else, where your stuff is there. You see the guys who throw harder than ever now, but there's a fall off from all that. So what is that? How tough is the struggle to maintain and stay? You're one of the few guys to do 4 straight years of excellent, right? It's hard to do.
Yeah, without a doubt. And I love the analogy with the field goal kicker because we tend to get all the hate online when we mess up.
Yeah.
That's the field goal kickers. But it's that's one thing I really have prided myself on. It's like, yeah, you're great. It's great to have the best year or anything like that. It's great to be ranked first in the shredder and all that sort of stuff. But to me, it's more important being on that list 4 times in a row because that means you're consistent. That means you're going out there and you can give the team what you're expecting to do and you're not flash in the pan or anything like that. I think that really plays into what I've been trying to do and trying to accomplish.
I have to ask you a team question. I know you just got back, but you guys looked loaded last year. You looked pretty loaded this year. What's happening with the White Sox?
Yeah, we're a really good team on paper. And I think that got into our own heads a little bit. We understood that we're in in the Central. It's not exactly the greatest division, and I don't mean that in any disrespect. But we just thought after 21, oh no, we're going to roll right through, and it just didn't happen. And I think we needed to take a step back, and we've been doing it again. We really came in and put all that pressure on ourselves again this spring training from just the little snippets I saw while I was there. And once you take that step back and realize, like, no, we have to earn, as I said, earn absolutely everything we get. There's nothing guaranteed. There's nothing given to us. It really, really plays up, and that's what works into our kind of team mentality is we need to go out there and earn it, and I think everybody's trying to get on board with that right now.
Can that still happen now? It's only June, but can you guys turn around this year, you think?
I mean, you look at the record and you'd say no, but you look at the games behind and you'd say yes. I mean, we're only, 5.5 games back, I think, right now? And in this situation, we have a really opportunity. Like, we can go on a run, and all of a sudden, we're right there in the mix of things, similar to what Cleveland did towards the end of last year. Like, it was a pretty tight race between the Twins, the Guardians, and ourselves. And going out there, and then they just took it off and did it in August and September. And right now, it's that still same mix, and Detroit's looking a heck of a lot better this year. There's a lot of teams that we can do some good things against. But this year's going to be different because we're not playing them as much as either.
All right. I just wanted to find out about the team. Again, we could talk pitching a lot. I'll have you back sometime and talk the science of pitching. So I know you're big on that. You've studied it and you've been successful. And for now, you're an inspiration. I know you're getting the word out on battling cancer, and I'm sure you're inspiring so many people out there that are battling. So Good luck.
Thank you very much.
Great to see you.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, and congratulations on getting through it. You and your wife, Christy, and getting through it together. And
Yeah.
congratulations, Liam.
Thank you very
Thank
much.
you.
Thank you. Appreciate it.